What's going on, world? It's your main man, Kareem A. Rashid, the voice and your host of Clearing the Wreckage. Yes, we've got another great episode in store for you today. Once again, I don't know what you got going on. You could be driving to work, but all I ask is that you please pay attention to the road. Or you could be at work on a lunch break trying to get a quick sneak peek into this episode. Please be sure to clock back in on time. Yes! Or you could be doing something very important, to me at least, and that is on the toilet. Please be sure to flush. Yes! What's going on, world? What's up, wreckage clearers? What's up, wreckage clearing community? We are back for another great conversation. We've met at our favorite place. I walked in, I sat down, I said, "What's up?" You said, "What's going on, Kareem?" I said, "Man, a whole lot that I gotta tell you." And it's just been a whole lot on my mind, and I feel like I need to share this part of the story with you as well. Would you like to hear it? And you said, yep, I want to hear it. I want to hear everything about it, man. I've been in anticipation, such anticipation, waiting for you to come visit me and talk to me and let me know what is going on in your life, Kareem. So I said, all right then. Last week, we discussed the 4 A's. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, please go back to that. First of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all my loyal listeners. Every single week, you're tuned in. You are part of this community. You said, "Man, I'm about clearing the wreckage. I love what this guy has to say. I identify with it. I relate to him. He's authentic. He's vulnerable with us. He keeps it a buck. He keeps it 100. He keeps it 1,000, 1,000,000, whatever. No sugarcoating. He tells it like it is. And he brings out what was going on the inside of him. And he is about clearing that wreckage. And you know what? I'm interested in that too. I'm about clearing the wreckage. So I joined every single week to be part of this community. So I want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you if it's your first time listening and you happen to click in on this episode. Thank you as well. As I always suggest, please go back to the first episode because we are now on episode 32. And I've been sharing my journey with you. And we talked about last week the 4 A's, right? What are the 4 A's? Do you remember? Awareness, acknowledging, admittance, and acceptance. Today we're going to discuss that first A, awareness. I have a couple of questions for you first. How many of us go throughout our day or life without even noticing the fact that we are breathing? Man, that's a good question, Kareem. Thanks for asking that. Man, sometimes I just go throughout life. I don't even notice. And I'm right there with you, by the way. I can answer yes to that question, especially at that time in my life with the story I'm about to share with you. How many times in your life have you had people try to make you aware of something? Something that they noticed or observed about you, they brought it to your attention. I raise my hand on that. Are you the type of person that continues to move, continues to do? In other words, Do you just keep moving constantly? Are you constantly on the go? What about, are you on a constant search for the next moment? Such as, all right, I got to do this, and then I got to do that, and then I got to do this, and then I got to do that, and then I got to do this. Yes, is that going through your head on a daily basis? Are you already at the next moment before you even get there? After I finish this is what I have to do. I mean, we've all been there. I can raise my hand to that. If you're watching me on YouTube, you see my hand raised high. Are you willing to take a beat? Take a beat means just take a moment. Are you willing to take a moment to yourself? In isolation, not around anybody, just by yourself for a moment. No noise, no TV. Go out to the woods on a nature walk by yourself. Are you willing to do so? Let's talk about awareness. If you've answered yes to the majority of those questions, then you are at the place where I was before I became aware. But there was a moment that I had. So last week I talked to you about February 21st, 2016. That day, or that night I should say, I had a moment. I had a moment of stillness. That might be the best way to put it. I had a moment of stillness, a moment of silence. You know, you're at an event, they're like, let's have a moment of silence, please. That's what I had, a moment of silence. And in that moment, I was able to hear. See, first of all, I want to tell you something. First of all, I want to let you know in on a little secret. The word silent and listen are spelled with the same letters. Let me repeat that for you. Whew. The words silent and listen are spelled with the same letters. We'll get to that and a little bit later in this conversation. But just something I want you to observe, I want you to notice, I want you to be aware of. Let's talk about what is the definition. Well, you know, Kareem, I really don't even know what awareness is. What's the definition of awareness? Awareness just means coming to the realization. That's all it means. Having knowledge of or realizing something, coming into consciousness. That's all awareness means. Being conscious of, being cognizant of, and having knowledge of or the realization of. So that night, everything stopped. It was almost like time stood still for me. Because I was at the tipping point. I was at the jumping off point. I was at the point in my life where I was done. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. That night, my mind became aware of all the chaos, all the wreckage that I have caused. Here I am again. I'm at this place in my life where I decided to escape due to the fact that I do not know how to process my emotions. I cannot regulate my emotions. I did good for a little while, but it is too much pain for me to handle. So I went back to the ways that I were very familiar with. You know that story if you've been listening. So that night I was done. The alcohol was done. I had no more drugs. I was done. And I had a moment. And in that moment, I was able to hear because I was silent. I was able to listen because I was silent. Silent and listen are spelled with the same letters. Woo! Hold on, let me get to it now. It's time to preach now to you. Now it's time to preach. You got to be silent in order to hear. You must be silent in order to listen. I had to be silent. And throughout all the course of that time, I did not know that I was not silent. I was searching for the next moment of happiness, that instant gratification. No, I don't want to feel this way. Give me alcohol. Give me drugs. Give me something, any type of thing that gave me pleasure and instant happiness at that time. I wanted it because I cannot deal with this. What about you? Are you at that place in your life where you just escape, where you just are searching for that next moment of happiness because you just want to do whatever it takes to be happy, because you do not want to feel what is going on inside of you? Hey, I've been there. And if you listen to the last episode or even the last few episodes, you know I was being wrapped up in my cocoon as a caterpillar, and man, I tell you what, I was being prepared to become a butterfly, but I did not like the pain that I had to go through, or the isolation, or the dissolution, that I had to go through in order to become a butterfly. I didn't like that I had to break my own body down in order to become a butterfly. That is what the caterpillar does when it is inside its chrysalis stage, inside its cocoon. Come on, hold on. Do I need to go back and repeat that for you? Go back to those episodes, those conversations we had, how I broke down the caterpillar's life. That's what the caterpillar is doing. It's got to be completely broken down so it can be recreated into a totally new species. The butterfly looks nothing like the caterpillar. There's a reason why, because when it goes in that cocoon, it breaks its body down and it turns into something beautiful. My body was being broken down. Do you know how much alcohol and drugs I've used over the course of my life? And then I was like, nope. In 2012, I had another moment. I had that moment of awareness, the moment of acknowledgement, moment of admittance. Right? I shared that with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those episodes. And I was able to go on a path and stay sober and clean and not resort to reaching for the bottle. But then it came to a point where it was time for me to soar. And I had to go through some things in order to become a butterfly. And that was so painful. I did not want to deal with it. The things that I were doing to clear the wreckage was not working. I still was feeling all of the pain. I thought, well, I'm doing the right things. I'm journaling. I'm going for walks. I'm going to church. I'm doing this. I'm going to therapy. Why is it not working anymore? It was working. I did not allow it to work. So, when it comes to awareness, that night I became aware. And the first thing I became aware of was that I have life. Ooh, what a gift. I have life. Do you know how much wreckage I caused in my life? Do you know how much torment and destruction I put on my body? To the point where I shouldn't be here right now. I should be dead. Seriously, you want me to really get real with you? I shouldn't be here. I should not be living. As much damage as I've done to my body, to my brain, there's no way. And because of the gift of life, then that brought about gratitude. I became aware, man, I have life. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for giving me life. I have another chance at this. I know that I tried this 3 years ago. This is what I was saying to myself. I know I tried this 3 years ago, and then now I went back to my old ways, but I didn't die. I'm given a chance to do this again. Wow. You do realize that just a few weeks prior to this date, I wanted to die. I just shared that in an episode with you. I was having suicidal ideation. I was contemplating it. I had the plan. This is what I was going to do. Life is not worth it. I'm not worth it. I'm a piece of crap. I don't belong here. Yes, I should be dead. I deserve that punishment. Why not I just take care of this myself? That's where I was. That's exactly where I was. And then, a few weeks later, I had this moment. And thank you, God, for this moment that I had, because I would not be where I am today. I would not be a butterfly. This is the transition. This is the metamorphosis that I'm sharing with you of how I actually became a butterfly. But I had to become aware first. I have life. I have wings all of a sudden. Ooh! I have wings? What are these things attached to my body now? Oh, yeah. Which then produced in me gratitude, which is another gift. Notice that life is a gift. Notice and be aware that gratitude is a gift. And I could not receive those gifts if I did not have a moment to be silent so that I can listen. So that I can hear the voice telling me, oh my God, you got life. Your mentor just passed away December 21st, 2015. It's February 21st, 2016. It's only 2 months ago. Now, look at his life. He was a recovering alcoholic. He did great in life. As far as being restored, redeemed, I mean, his life was a full transformation. I saw him as a caterpillar. And then he became a butterfly. And I saw his life as a butterfly, and I questioned, well, why is he gone? Maybe it was due to the damage and the wreckage that was caused in his life due to the decisions and the choices that he made over the course of his life. I have no idea. All I know is when it's time for us to transition, it's time for us to transition. That's all I can tell you. But I became aware of that. I go, well, it's not my time. Wow, thank you. The gift of gratitude. became aware that I had been given another chance at life, another opportunity to grow and recover. How many chances am I going to receive? I became aware of that as well. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for giving me another shot at this, another chance to recover. Which then also produced in me an awareness of breath. How many of us, remember the question, how many of us just go throughout our life or our day without even noticing the fact that we are breathing? I had a moment to notice my breath. And let me share a story with you real quick. Just maybe not even a week or a few days. I don't even remember it because, truthfully, if it wasn't for my friend being at my house that night, I probably will not be here. I don't even know the full story. I can't even share it with you. All I can tell you is this. I got woken up by him. I had a cardiac arrest. I was getting high, I was drinking, and I got up. I don't remember if I got up out of the bed. I have no idea what happened. All I know is that I was being awakened by him. And then he told me, you was out for a long time. I was trying to wake you up for so long. You were out. I thought you were dead. Yeah. The damage, the wreckage, all the damage I caused, all the havoc and the destruction within my body stopped working. My body said, you know what? It's too much. You have been using alcohol and drugs for so long. I am done. My body literally shut down. I passed out. And it wasn't even, and I remember that I wasn't really extremely intoxicated. Not to my knowledge, at least. Not to my knowledge. So, of course, at this moment, I won't say of course, but I will say at this moment, I noticed my breath. Because I also went to the hospital, and the doctors told me, you had a cardiac arrest. You had a moment where you basically died. Your heart stopped beating. So yes, I noticed my breath in that moment. And I took a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I said, oh my gosh, I am still here. I'm breathing. And because of me being silent, I was able to listen. The voice said, do you remember? You remember just a few days ago or a week ago, you were just in the hospital because your heart stopped. Which then brought about more gratitude. But I had to become aware of those things first. And let me give you, the only way to become aware is by having a moment of silence. I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you the truth. If I would have kept going, if I would have decided, you know what, I'm not done. I'm finna go to the liquor store. I'm finna go get some more drugs. I'm finna just continue this path of destruction, of wreckage. I would have not had a moment of silence. I would not have become aware of my actions. You have to become aware first before you can acknowledge anything. You have to become aware first before you can acknowledge anything. And that was one of the things that I knew that I had to do. Become aware. have a moment to you. So I've shared the journal entry with you last week or the week before, and I was able to write down what I was hearing, and then I was able to acknowledge it, and we'll go over that next week because we're going to talk about acknowledging. That's the second A. But I just wanted to state that if you can't see yourself, you can't change. If you can't see yourself, let me say that again, you can't change. That's why I'm always saying take the time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. You think I'm just blowing smoke up your hoo-ha? I'm telling you that because that is how you clear the wreckage. Again, you cannot acknowledge what you don't observe, what you don't recognize or become aware of. And for years, I was not even aware of the fact that I could not process my emotions. I could not express my emotions. I just wanted the pain to go away. I did not want to feel this way anymore. Where's the bottle? You know, just like a baby. Just like a baby. The baby starts crying. The baby starts yelling. The mom pulls out her breast. The baby attaches to nipple, and the baby is fine. 30 minutes later, an hour, maybe even 5 seconds later, who knows? The baby gets agitated again. The baby starts crying. The baby starts yelling. The mom pulls out a bottle. The baby attaches to nipple. Baby's okay. Then again, baby starts crying, yelling because it's agitated again. Baby gets held into the arms of their mom. Baby gets pacifier. Baby calms down. See, baby cannot express their emotions. I don't know if y'all hear me. I don't know if y'all hear me at all. Baby cannot express their emotions. All baby can do, and baby can't talk either. So all baby can do is wah, wah, and yell. And then parent has to give a bottle, a passy, or a breast. And baby is okay for a little while. But baby can't tell you, oh man, you know, I'm crying again because I got poop all over my behind. There's crap. There's poop all in my pamper, Mom. Dad, can you change me, please? They can't say that. They can't say, hey, Mom. Hey, Dad, you know, I just pooped in my pants. Can you please come change me? Oh, sure, son, daughter, we're coming right away. They can't say that. All they can do is express the pain that they're, and they start screaming and yelling because it's painful. It is irritating, I'm sure, to have a bunch of boo-boo, a bunch of wreckage attached to your behind. And you can't say nothing about it. All you can do is yell and scream. That, my friends, was me. I'm in pain. I start crying. I start yelling. I reach for the bottle. I'm okay for a little while, and then I go into more pain. I start crying and yelling. I reach for the bottle. I'm okay for a while, and then I'm in more pain. I start crying and yelling. I reach for some drugs. I'm okay for a while. I'm in more pain. I start crying and yelling. I reach for sex. Whatever gives me instant happiness, instant calmness at that moment. Well, see, what the baby doesn't know versus the adult is that it's only going to last for a moment. It's only a temporary healing. And even me, as an adult, did not realize, I was not even aware that, oh, this is only a temporary healing. Maybe I should do something, just maybe, to work on really, truly healing myself instead of searching for this temporary fix. Are you one of those people like me? Search for that instant gratification, that temporary fix. I don't know, maybe you're in a relationship where you are not aware that the same thing is going on, the same thing over and over and over, and you're expecting a different result. You're expecting that when you cry and yell and you get the passy in your mouth, that you're never going to cry again and yell again. I don't know if that made sense, but or that it's going to be over, or maybe you're just thinking, everything's going to be okay. Maybe you have wishful thinking about the relationship that is toxic that you're in. But you can't even be aware that it's toxic until you take a moment to sit still. That's just an example. How about an example of, work? Your employer, your friends. Are you even aware of the type of relationship you are involved in? Are you aware of the type of person that the other person is in a friendship, relationship, whatever it may be? Are you aware of the type of person you are? Because we ain't talking about them. We're about clearing the wreckage. We're about looking at on the inside of us. Are you aware of the person that you are? In order to be aware of that, you need a moment to yourself. And in that moment, I'm able to give you that analogy because that is what I realized about myself. I am a freaking baby. I am just like a baby. Oh my gosh, it is time to grow up. I was put in the cocoon so that I can receive wings, so that I can become a butterfly. Everything that I went through was growing pains. Now I'm ready to fly. I'm no longer going to react like a baby. I can express my emotions. I can journal them. I can write them down. I can even share it with somebody else. I can set boundaries. I can say, hey, you're treating me this way. I do not like that. By becoming aware, I later became aware of the fact that I have hope. And that's one of the great things about becoming aware. I was aware that I had life. I was aware that because I had life, I was grateful, which then made me aware of my breath, and then made me aware that I have hope, because every moment that I breathe, there is hope. I still have a chance. So I just knew, this time around, I knew things had to be different. I've already been through this. I've already done this. I've already lied. I've already been extremely deceitful and manipulative. I've already been down this road. What am I going to do different this time? Am I still going to be a baby when the pain hits and start crying and yelling, and I know how to soothe the pain right away, the bottle? Am I going to reach for that? I made a decision. And because of my awareness, I was able to acknowledge, and we'll talk about that next week. I'm not going to even go into it anymore. I was going to go to this story about next week, but we'll talk about that next week. So I have a challenge for you. Write down the word silent and listen. Write them both down so they're next to each other, and then you can see that they're both spelled with the same letters. Write them down somewhere. And then the other challenge is for you to be silent so that you can listen. Take 5 minutes out of your day. Then I want you to notice your breath. Within those first 5 minutes, take a deep breath. Inhale and then exhale. I want you to notice it. And then while you're breathing in and out, notice there's going to be a calm voice speaking to you. Notice that voice. Then write down what you heard. Folks, that is where I was in that time of my journey. I wanted to share that with you, that I became aware first because I was still. I had a moment to listen, and I became aware of that little voice, that intuition, that voice that's inside of me. You can call it whatever. I call it the Spirit. I call it God. God is speaking to me. God is speaking to every single one of us. I was able to hear that voice. And that's what I want from you, so that we all can be butterflies and we can fly across the earth together. I love you guys. I thank you so much for always being here with me. That's all I got for you today. Write down, again, silent and listen. They're spelled with the same letters. Write them down. Be silent so that you can listen. Be silent for 5 minutes out of your day. Then notice your breath by taking a deep breath in and out. And then write down and journal what you heard. Do that for me, and we'll continue this conversation next week. As always, as I leave you, take some time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. Peace.